Y'all. I'm to jump into it now. I don't know. I have like the opposite of speaking phobia. It's like when I get in front of a lot of people, I can speak perfectly fine. But when I'm by myself trying to do this, I'm always like, I don't know.
Anyways, all right, let's get into it. Authentic self-power. I've used these terms for years, never aware of the power that they held. I mean, when the opportunity presented itself, I would jump at the thought of throwing it out there. See, like many others during this amazing yet confusing universal shift that we're in called the age of Aquarius, I too, I started to awaken to the misuse of terms that I had used over the years. And authentic self power definitely being one of them. For years, I would snap on people who didn't agree with me. I would argue down others who had valid points just because they differed from mine. And I would dismiss individuals who I didn't believe were as smart as me. In other words, I was what you might call a hothead. And at the end of all those debates or disputes, I would say I did it because I had self power. I knew what I was talking about. You weren't going to change that. Silly girl. It's easy to say I don't believe in that person anymore. She was wrong and foolish. But the one thing she was right about was that when you're sure of something, you hold on to it. And we're going to come back to that in a little bit. See, I've always had a control problem. Not going to lie, guys. I'm a control freak. And I never took too kindly to changes that I didn't agree to. I'm also very fixed. So it sent me right into what I like to call brat mode. Brat mode is something I know anybody can relate to all too well, rather you want to admit it or not. Brat mode is the moment that you get that rejection. As soon as you hear no, your ego takes a hit and you fall so fast that you don't even feel yourself falling until you've literally entered brat territory. And you start giving short answers. You start distancing yourself from others. Or you might be the combat brat mode and you start taking your anger out on people who don't deserve it, all because something didn't go your way. And what I didn't realize during all of those brat mode moments was that I was never gaining anything out of it. I literally lost. I lost energy. I lost respect. I lost myself. And most importantly, I lost my power. And not just any old power, my authentic self-power was given away in all of those moments. So now you're like, okay, I can relate to that or whatever, but what exactly is authentic self-power, right? There are various definitions that great spiritual leaders will give you all across the world. But my personal definition of authentic self-power is reserving the right to be one with yourself at all times.
We're going to bring it back, because I need you to get it. I need you to take it in.
Authentic self-power is reserving or holding on to. Remember I said if you are sure of something, you hold on to it. Holding on to the right to be one meaning being aligned with yourself at all times. You're holding on to the right to be aligned at all times. You are in control, you are disciplined and unstoppable when you have authentic self-power. You are aligned and nothing can touch you at this point, all right? And we usually reach and recognize our own self-power when we start to embody self-love, self-esteem, or self-respect, same definition, self-confidence, self-knowledge, and self-realization, or the selfies, as I like to call them. So the first selfie that we're going to talk about is self-love. And that's the only one we're going to talk about. You have to watch the other videos to get the rest. But to embody self-love, one must have regards for their own well-being and happiness. And I mean, that sounds pretty simple, right? We all too often get caught up in pleasing those around us that we stop taking care of ourselves, literally. We leave our well-being and happiness up to others to decide for us how we feel in the moment. We depend on people, food, drugs, drinks, movies, etc., to depict how happy we can become. And the sad thing is, we never stop to say, "Hey, me, how can I make you happy?" And sure, asking yourself how to be happy sounds pathetic at first, but then ask yourself, "Hey, me, how can that guy that I know doesn't truly love me, but he has a cute smile, he buys me food, make me happy?" And you end up sounding a little more pathetic, sis. Sorry. Because you realize that you can't even go to the one person you're stuck with for life. You. So why is it that we're so prone to become handicapped to love? And I mean, the answer is really quite simple. We don't have self-love. So how do you obtain it, you ask? You're going to take a look at yourselves for a moment, at ourselves for a moment, and reflect on what truly brings you joy. It could be something as simple as your favorite ice cream or listening to live music outside. But take a step back from the current things that bring temporary happiness and take your mind on a ride to Joyland. For example, I've always loved the sun, and a lot of people know this, and I found some odd connection with it. I also have always enjoyed feeling air blow while being outside, whether if I was at the beach outside or if I was, running outside and I could feel the wind on me. I love that feeling. I've always loved that feeling. But it wasn't until later on in life when I began studying astrology, self-awareness, etc., that I learned I was an air sign, and air was my natural element. So go figure. So I loved air so much. Now, the sun presented itself in a way I couldn't even imagine. I didn't know the sun was another representation of God. Look it up. It is. Ever enlightening, feeding my soul, guiding the way, and warming my heart for love. Everything that Christ embodied, Buddha embodied, God embodies. So what starts off seeming like something so simple or even kind of weird that you might be into will come back around and display itself in a more authentic way the more you grow spiritually. So, I mean, now I love to meditate under the sun. I really love meditating under the sun. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Usually by a body of water so that I can feel the breeze at the same time. And no lie, that brings me joy. Like, not happiness. I mean, it translates to happiness, but not temporary. Oh, I'm drunk, so I'm having fun and I'm happy right now. Not that. It's not that. It's joy. I'll walk away feeling full and ready for the next joyful adventure. So in finding what brings me joy, I learned how to feed myself love. I was able to provide myself with happiness and an overall well-being. So I encourage you to dive deep into that mind of yours and remember what brings you joy. Once you're honest with yourself, study what you've discovered and incorporate it into your life somehow, some way, okay? And with love, you will always find a way. So stop playing yourself. It's time to treat. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to make this quick video to let you guys know I have this ebook coming out, and this is just a little snippet of it. But I will be making more videos on the rest of the selfies so that you can start to learn yourself a little bit more and, get that authentic self-power that you deserve. It's in all of us. You just have to learn how to hold it and keep it. But yeah, that's it. Love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.